Has the live stream started?
I have a box that says it has.
You have a box saying the recording started, Ian.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Yeah,
Right.
I need confirmation from Jenny. Hang on. I'm getting nothing from Jenny. Oh, hang on. It's whirling, apparently. We're looking at a circle going round. And we are now live streaming as well.
Okay, thank you, and welcome everybody, and good morning. Welcome to the Aberdeenshire Licensing Board meeting, Wednesday the 25th of February 2026. Please note the board meeting is being live streamed and will be recorded and published online for public viewing after the meeting. Can members activate their cameras where possible to enable you to enjoy by video? Sorry, to join by video. You can enjoy the video as well. And can all attendees mute their microphones when not speaking? Please do not come in during items unless I invite you to do so. Can I confirm that all members have been able to access the papers for today's meeting in advance?
Yes.
No indications? Okay.
Yep.
And if members wish to speak at any point, please raise your hand in the Teams meeting. I don't think anybody's dialed in, the members. If at any point you have a loose connection or have any technical issues, our IT officer today is Callum Fleming. Can I go over now to the Deputy Clerk, please, to take the sedered?
Thank you, Convener. Ms. Dawn Black.
Here.
Mr. Jeff Crowson.
Yeah.
Mrs. Marion Ewanson.
I'm present, yes.
Mr. Jeff Goodall.
Present.
Mr. Trevor Mason.
Present.
Mr. Richard Maynard.
Good morning. Present.
Miss Nichol is still on maternity leave, and we have apologies from Miss Tracy Smith, Miss Mel Sullivan.
Here.
Mr. Ian Taylor.
Hi, good morning. I'm present.
Convener, we also have Sergeant John Webster and PC James Stewart from Police Scotland, and we have Keith Simpson, Kevin MacDonald, Sarah Ward, Licensing Standards Officers in the meeting, as well as myself, the Deputy Clerk. Thank you, Convener.
Okay, thank you. We now move on to declaration of members' interests. So members, please state if you have an interest to declare, and if you have, please clarify the item number, the nature of the declaration, and whether or not you will leave the meeting. No indications. So in that case, we can go on to item 2, which is the equalities resolution. So could members please agree that when they're making decisions on the attached reports, you're reminded of the legal duty under section 149 of the Equality Act 2010 to have due regard to the need to eliminate discrimination, harassment and victimisation, advance equality of opportunity between those who share a protected characteristic and persons who do not share it, and to foster good relations between those who share a protected characteristic and persons who do not share it. The members agree?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. The next item is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 17th of December. It's for approval as a correct record only. Can we agree that as a correct record?
Agree.
Agreed.
Okay,
Agreed.
thank you. No issues with the minute. So item 4 today then is applications for premises or provisional premises licenses which are non-contentious. And we have the one, it's the Stonehaven Premier Store at 50 Allardyce Street, and it's for a provisional premises licence. And I'll hand over to Fiona to present the report.
Thank you, Convener. These premises are to operate as a convenience shop with the activities that are set out in the report. The licence is sought for off sales only. The applicant does not wish to operate according to any seasonal demands. The shop will be open from 6 a.m. Monday to Saturday and 6:30 on Sundays. Alcohol sales will be between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and will include a delivery service. The Licensing Standards Officer requested an updated plan, which the applicant has provided, and recommended conditions to attach to the licence if granted. The certificate of confirmation has been submitted by the applicant. The applicant has agreed to the recommended local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. Do members have any questions or comments? No. So in that case, in terms of the first recommendation, does the board have sufficient evidence to allow determination to be made?
Yes.
Yes.
And with the second recommendation, then, do we have sufficient evidence? We have sufficient evidence, and should the application be granted or refused?
Granted.
Grant.
Grant.
Okay, thank you. So that application is granted. So we can move on then to item 5, which is applications for major variation of premises licence, again, non-contentious. And we have 6 today. So I'll hand over to Fiona and we'll take them one by one.
Thank you, Convener. The first one is for Cost Cutter Cowie Gardens, Crimmond, and this application seeks to extend the terminal hour of the premises from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. through the week. The applicant has submitted the certificate of compliance relating to display of the site notice. The Licensing Standards Officer recommended local conditions to attach to the licence if granted. No other representations were made. The applicant has agreed to the recommended local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, members? Do we have sufficient information in front of us?
Yes.
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 So in
Yes.
that case, should the application be granted or refused?
Grant.
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 Okay, granted. So we move on to the second application, please.
Thank you. The second application is for the Co-op Unit 1, Red Cloak Drive, Stonehaven. The applicant is slightly increasing the capacity of the alcohol display area and has varied the layout plan to take account of the installation of a coffee machine within the premises. The applicant has submitted the certificate of confirmation related to display of the site notice. No representations were made in respect of the application. The applicant has agreed to the continuation of the existing local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. Again, have we any questions, members? No. Do you have sufficient information in front of you today?
Yes.
Yes.
So in that case, it's the decision to grant or refuse.
Grant.
To grant.
Grant. Okay. Thank you. So over to you again, Fiona, for application number 3.
Thank you. This is for the Co-op at Main Street, Blackburn, and the applicant has amended the list of activities set out in section 5F of the operating plan and has amended the description of the premises, all as set out within the report. The applicant has submitted the certificate of compliance relating to display of the site notice. The Licensing Standards Officer recommended local conditions. The applicant has agreed to the continuation of the existing local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from members? Do we have sufficient information?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in that case, can we grant or refuse the application?
Grant.
Grant.
Granted. Okay, thank you. Fourth
The,
one.
the next application is for Duff House Royal Golf Club in Banff, and this is a private members club. The applicants are making substantial variations to the hours the premises are open and the activities and the access to the premises, particularly for children and young people. The premises previously operated on seasonal hours only and are now moving to core hours for on sales with amended seasonal hours to apply. The applicant has submitted the certificate of compliance in relation to the display of the site notice. The Licensing Standards Officer recommended local conditions to attach to the licence. The applicant has agreed to the proposed local conditions as set out in the report and the specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. So again, members, have you any questions or comments? No. So do we have sufficient information?
Yes.
Yes. So in that case, can we grant or refuse this application?
Grant.
Grant.
Okay, so that one is granted. We now move on to number 5.
Thank you. This is for Bains of Balcar and Port Lethen, and I would remind members that the applicant's agent is in the meeting via Teams in case members have any questions on this application. The applicant is removing accommodation from the licence and the operating plan, and the layout plans have been amended to reflect that. Section 5 of the operating plan has also been amended in relation to gambling machines, and removal of the bedrooms has resulted in a reduction in the capacity of the premises. Access for children and young persons and the description of the premises have also been amended. The applicant has submitted the certificate of confirmation in relation to display of the site notice. No representations were made in respect of the application. The applicant has agreed to the proposed local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No, I did have one, and since we've got a representative here, I'll ask him the question. Under the applicant wants 2 bullet points where it talks about updating section 6D of the operating plan with times with children and young persons will be allowed entry to the premises to draw forward the commencement time to 0700 hours to 0100 hours. I was a bit confused as to the wording there, what that actually meant. Mr. Shield, can you maybe shed light on that?
I'm just looking at the point. I think it is just bringing forward children and young persons for breakfast. So it's as simple as that. It's not extending out in the evenings. I think it's just bringing it forward. I haven't looked at this morning at what the previous time was, but I know that you'll probably know with Premier Inns they do breakfasts, and I think as time has developed and evolved, they're bringing forward to make breakfast available that bit earlier.
Okay, thank you.
The opening hour of the premises was previously 11 a.m. and is remaining 11 a.m. So I think the wording is just to give access earlier for children and young persons. Kavira.
Okay, thank you. So with that, members, do we feel we've got sufficient information?
There was one other query that members had, convener, which I would put to Mr. Shield, and that is the wording around the layout plan, which said to remove the existing hotel accommodation from the demise of the licence area. And I checked the wording, and that was what was put in the application form. I wonder if you could explain, is that a typo? Should it be something else, or what is meant by the demise of the licence area?
That is an interesting question. I think the intention is just to remove the accommodation block from the licensed area.
I think that should say description then.
I'm happy for that to be amended as
I'll
long
get
as it's
that
clear
amended.
what we're seeking to do, which I think is fairly clear from the overall application and the knock-on effect.
Thank you, Mr. Shield.
That's it. Okay, so with that, do members have any other questions? Have we got sufficient information now?
Yes.
Yeah. And can we grant or refuse the application?
Grant.
Granted. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Shield, for attending.
Thank you. I was glad to be of help on those couple of minor points.
We had to ask you something since you're here.
Indeed. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Move on now
The
to number 6, Fiona, please.
Next application is for Dove House Sports Club in Banff. This is another private members club and it operates on behalf of a number of community organisations in the area. The applicant has amended their seasonal variations to provide more scope for operation, all within the terms of the board's policy. The report covers the extensive amendments that are proposed to the licence, including changes to the operating hours, activities, children and young persons access, the club constitution and seasonal trading. The applicant has submitted the certificate of confirmation relating to the display of the site notice. The licensing standards officer made representations seeking more clarity in terms of the operating plan with which the applicant complied. Local conditions were also recommended. The applicant has agreed to the proposed local conditions as set out in the report, and there are no specific conditions recommended. There are no outstanding actions, and the application is therefore recommended to be granted.
Okay, thank you. A lot of detail in this one. I don't know if there are any comments or questions.
I believe the licensing standards officer did quite a bit of work with the applicants in relation to this application.
No questions from members? In that case, can I just ask if we have sufficient information in front of us?
Yes.
Yes. So can we grant or refuse this application?
Grant.
Grant.
Yes.
Grant.
Okay, so that one is also granted.
Thank you, convener.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on now to our first hearing today, which is item 6 on your agenda, which is application for a provisional premises licence at Kite Dinnet, Aboyne. So I think Mr. Addy is in the meeting.
Yes,
but I don't
hello.
think.
Hello.
Hello, yes, welcome. I don't think we have Mr. Roberts, do we? He's not attending.
No, he's confirmed that he's not attending, but his written representation will still be taken into account by the board.
Okay, thank you. So can I just check with the board then, since Mr. Roberts isn't here, can we confirm just that we can proceed in his absence? Yes?
Yes, that's
Thank
okay.
you. Yeah,
Agreed.
okay, because we do have his written submission. So I'll confirm we have Mr. Addy in the meeting. We've done that. Mr. Addy, are you satisfied you've received all the relevant information and do you feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes.
Okay. So in line with the guidance you've received in the public participant meeting protocol for licensing board hearings, please can you mute your microphone when not speaking? If your phone permits this, please do not speak unless I invite you to do so, and please do not interrupt any other speakers. If you do, you may be removed from the meeting. Once you've been asked to make concluding remarks, you are entitled to speak again unless to answer a question from the board member. Sorry, you're not entitled to speak again unless to answer a question from a board member. Once the board has made its decision, you will be asked to leave the meeting. If the board requires to adjourn to deliberate the application, the recording of the meeting will be paused and the board will retire to a separate online meeting room. Please wait in the main meeting room until the board members return and I resume the meeting. At that point, the recording of the meeting will be restarted. I will now ask the Deputy Clerk to introduce the report and confirm the procedure for the hearing.
Thank you, convener. This application is at a hearing before the board due to an unresolved objection from a member of the public. The objector is not able to be present today, but has asked that the board assess his objection in determining the application. A summary of the application is set out at section 2.2 of the board report. Procedure to be followed today is to hear from the applicant, consider objection from the objector. If the applicant has anything further to say about the objection, to hear from the applicant, questions by board members to the applicant, followed by concluding remarks from the applicant. Thereafter, moving to make your decision, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So first of all then, can I ask Mr. Addy just to outline the terms of the application and address the representation lodged while doing so. Mr. Addy, please.
Hi there. Thank you, Councillor Ewanson. I don't have very much to say today, really, because I think that the report that's in front of you kind of captures everything that's in the application and then the subsequent discussions that we had on site. There were two objectors originally. We had a meeting, very constructive meeting that was arranged by yourselves with those two objectors. And I thought in the meeting actually that both objections were then going to be withdrawn. That was my understanding on the basis of the meeting, but in the event, only one of them was withdrawn, and Mr. Roberts has kept his in, obviously. And I think that it primarily concerns the aspect of the licensing with regard to external seating area to the front of the building, rather than the principles of the license or the sale of off sales and licensing in the evenings. So I think it's quite a specific point that he's objecting to still. But yeah, like I say, otherwise I think it's all kind of contained within the report. I don't really have much more to say, but if there are any kind of questions or whatever, I'd be very happy to try and address them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do members want to consider the written statement at this point? Has everybody read that, presumably?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything further you want to add, Mr. Addy, based on that written statement?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the point with regard to the external area is that by making it part of the license, that provides the sort of degree of control that I think is necessary for the operation of the business. You know, if it wasn't included in the license, I think it actually raises more questions and introduces more complexity into how the thing would run, because potentially people could buy alcohol from the off-license aspect of the business and then kind of consume it in a sense anywhere, whereas having the front area as part of the license restricts the way in which alcohol can be consumed on the premises, and I think that's only a good thing.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So it's over to members now to ask questions. You can ask Mr. Addy a question or any questions for the Licensing Standards Officer. No questions? I think that's because it is very well detailed in the report. Mr. Taylor, please.
Yes, thank you, convener. Morning, Mr. Andy. Just to inquire as to what arrangements you have in terms of monitoring the outside area, particularly in terms of noise.
So I don't know if Councillor Taylor, if you're aware of the site in particular, or if other people are aware of the site. It's on the crossroads in Dinnet. It's on the kind of the northeastern corner of that crossroads. It's quite a kind of well-known building locally. And it's the shop component or the pizzeria component and the bit at the front is very small. So you'll see on the license application that we're looking for 20 internal covers and 25 external. So it's quite a modest operation. And there are two big windows on the front, plus the doorway has a window as well. So there's quite good kind of natural oversight of what's going on internally and externally from within the shop. I mean, potentially we could look to include closed circuit TV. We have some in the shop itself, but potentially we could have that externally as well. But I think in terms of noise and what have you, I think it's down to staffing and management on the ground, as it were. There'll be no music outside, for instance. There is a kind of a stereo system inside, but that'll be sort of background music. But we don't have that outside, and there'll be no music outside.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Could the LSO maybe just confirm the local conditions attached? That would be the standard local conditions. Is it Keith? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Chair. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the conditions in front of me at the moment, but it will be the standard set of conditions, and there will be the standard conditions with regards to external areas, with regards to not being used for the sale of alcohol past 10 p.m, etc. So, very much standard for any outdoor areas, and that's been applied, and as I understand, it would be agreed by the applicant as well. So, see no issues with that.
Okay. Thank you. Fiona, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, just to come in on the back of that, convener, standard local condition number 5 attaches to all licenses granted by the board, which directly relates to noise from amplified and non-amplified music, which shall not be audible in adjoining properties after 11 p.m. And the conditions about outside drinking areas and beer gardens would also tie in with that condition.
Okay, thank you. They're all detailed there on, well, it starts on page 101 in your papers. Okay, so do you want to say anything in closing, Mr. Addy? I don't see any more questions.
No, thank you. Just thank you very much.
Okay. Do board members require any legal advice from the clerk? No. So will the Deputy Clerk please outline the terms of the legal test for the application?
Thank you. The legal test forms Appendix 3 to your paperwork, and if the board finds that any of the grounds of refusal apply, you must refuse. If you find that none of the grounds of refusal apply, you must grant. And the grounds of refusal are that the subject premises are excluded premises, and I can advise that this does not apply here. That the application must be refused under certain sections of the Act, and again, that does not apply here. That the licensing board considers, having regard to the licensing objectives, that the applicant is not a fit and proper person to be the holder of the license. That the licensing board considers that the granting of the application would otherwise be inconsistent with one or more of the licensing objectives. That having regard to the nature of the activities proposed to be carried out in the subject premises, the location, character and condition of the premises, and the persons likely to frequent the premises, the board considers that the premises are unsuitable for use for the sale of alcohol. Or that the board considers that if the application were to be granted, there would as a result be over-provision of licensed premises in the locality. And I can advise that that paragraph does not apply here.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. So that's page 110 to 111 for anybody who's following the papers. Do board members wish to retire to deliberate? I would think
No.
so. No. Okay. So, members, do you wish to debate the application? I would suggest that the question that was asked is covered by the local conditions.
I would agree.
I think it addresses the issues raised by the objector. Any other comments? Are we ready to go to determination?
Yes.
Yeah. So can members just confirm you've
Yeah.
received sufficient evidence upon which to make a decision?
Yes.
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 Okay. Thank you. Is there a motion? Ms. Black, please.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to put forward a motion that we grant this application as outlined within the papers with local conditions as advised by the LSO. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder, Mr. Menard?
Yeah, happy to second on the same grounds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any amendment? No. Mr. Taylor, your hand's up. No.
It was up, and I'm happy to grant the application.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So if there's no amendment, can I just confirm that the decision is unanimous?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we can
Yep.
accept that. Okay, thank you. So can the Deputy Clerk please just confirm the decision?
Thank you, Convener Mr. Addy. Your application has been granted as applied for with the recommended conditions attached. Thank you for attending today. We will confirm the decision within 7 days and your licence will be issued to you in due course.
Okay, thank you. So I can confirm that this hearing is now concluded. Thank you for your interest. I will now ask you to leave the meeting, Mr. Addy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we can carry on. We will stop for breaks at appropriate times, but I think we're okay to keep going just now. This is item 7 on your agenda, which is to determine whether a premises licence has ceased to have effect. It's a hearing and it's the Grange Sports and Cocktail Bar, West Road, Peterhead. And I think we have the licence holder, Mr. George Kinghorn, is already in the meeting.
Mr. Kinghorn, if you press *6 again, you should be able to unmute your microphone.
Yes, I'm here. I've got a representative here with me as well, Ian, just to help me out a bit.
Who is Ian?
He's a mate.
He's a friend, and
Yeah.
you're content that he's acting as support. You're giving consent that he's there for support.
Yes, that's all. Yeah.
Thank you for confirming that, Mr. Kinghorn.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you'll have heard the statement that the meeting is being recorded and published online for public viewing after the meeting.
Yes.
Can I confirm also that Kevin MacDonald, the Licensing Standards Officer, is present?
Good morning. Yes, I'm present.
Okay. And are you satisfied that you've received all the relevant information and feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
I am. Thank you.
And Mr. Kinghorn, and are you satisfied that you've received all the relevant information and feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I've got
Okay.
everything.
Thank you. So in line with the guidance you've received in the public participant meeting protocol for licensing board hearings, please can you mute your microphone when not speaking if your phone permits this. Please do not speak unless I invite you to do so. And please do not interrupt other speakers. If you do, you may be removed from the meeting. Once you've been asked to make concluding remarks, you're not entitled to speak again unless to answer a question from a board member. Once the board has made its decision, you will be asked to leave the meeting. If the board requires to adjourn to deliberate the application, the recording of the meeting will be paused and the board will retire to a separate online meeting room. Please wait in the main meeting room until the board members return and I resume the meeting. At that point, the recording of the meeting will be restarted. I'll ask Fiona now, the Deputy Clerk, to introduce the report and confirm the procedure for the hearing.
Thank you, Convener. The purpose of this hearing is to consider a report lodged by the Licensing Standards Officer and for the board to determine whether the premises licence for this particular premises has ceased to have effect in terms of Section 28 of the Act, applying the terms of the legal test and taking into consideration the terms of the board's policy. Because essentially this is a complaint for ease of reference, the procedure is reversed from that of an application. So the board will hear from the Licensing Standards Officer first, then they will hear from the licence holder. The Licensing Standards Officer has a right of reply. Board members may then ask questions of both parties. Then we'll hear concluding remarks in reverse order. So you'll hear from the licence holder first and lastly from the Licensing Standards Officer before moving to make a determination. Thank you, Convener.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'll go to Mr. MacDonald, please, to outline the terms of the report to the board.
Good morning, Convener. This is a report with regard to Grange Sports and Cocktail Bar, West Road, Peterhead. Background to the premises. The licence was granted initially 20th of February 2009 and the licence holder was the Grange Inn of Peterhead. The premises licence was held by TGI Limited Peterhead from November 2019 to 26 November 2025. TGI Limited Peterhead confirmed that they'd closed the business from the 1st of January 2024 whilst they were trying to sell the property. At this time, they complied with the requirements and requested repeated extension of closure approval from the licensing board until the premises was sold and transferred in November 2025. The licence was transferred to the current licence holder, Grange Sports and Cocktail Bar, on 26th of November 2025. Mr. Kinghorn is the sole director of the company Grange Sports and Cocktail Bar Limited, according to Companies House, and named as the only connected person in the transfer application. The last extension of closure period came to an end in December 2025. History of the premises are that the premises ceased trading on the 1st of January 2024 whilst they sought to sell the premises. They requested repeated extensions of closure from the licensing board and ran consecutively until December 2025. In November 2025, the premises license was transferred to the new business Grange Sport and Cocktail Bar, where Mr. Kinghorn was named as the sole director. I was contacted by Building Standards Department, Aberdeenshire Council, regarding the position of the premises licence, as they had concerns regarding ongoing building works within the premises. On the 12th of January, I sent an email to Mr. Kinghorn at the email provided by him during the licence transfer, highlighting the concerns raised by building standards and the legal requirement that any change to the layout of the property must be made by way of a major variation application to the licensing board. He was also advised at that time that the extension of closure had expired and he should contact the board urgently to resolve this matter. Appropriate links were attached to the email for ease of reference for Mr. Kinghorn, and a read receipt shows that this email was read on the 13th of January 2026. On the 6th of February, I was again contacted by Building Standards, who now raised serious concerns of the safety of the works carried out within the premises in relation to fire safety aspects of the work after a visit to the premises. The officer advised that these works had been carried out without the respective building warrants. I immediately contacted Mr. Kinghorn by email, highlighting these safety concerns and the requirement for a variation of the premises licence if there has been changes to the layout plan. Again, highlighted the fact that the premises has been closed for an extensive period and he should request a further extension of closure. It was recommended to Mr. Kinghorn in both these emails that he may wish to seek legal advice on these matters, and I had no reply to either of these emails. Throughout the period from 1st January 2024 to present date, the property has been closed. It's evident there have been building works ongoing and no licence visits have been carried out as the premises have not been trading. To conclude, although my initial report says there's no correspondence with the current licence holder, despite the 2 emails, I can confirm that after the report was submitted to the board, Mr. Kinghorn has contacted me by telephone. Given the last update from Building Standards Department regarding potential fire safety concerns from the ongoing building works, which have been done without appropriate warrants, I'm now seriously concerned in respect of securing public safety for this current premises licence. It's requested that yourselves, the licensing board, determine whether or not the premises licence ceases to have effect. Thank you.
Sorry, I was on mute there. Thank you for that report. Can I now ask Mr. Kinghorn to respond to the report?
Okay. First of all, there is an oversight on my part of the licensing scenario, but it says that the license was granted in November. I never received nothing until the 9th of January. I was waiting and waiting, and I actually texted the previous owner if he had completed the handover of the license, and the reply I got was, "Yeah, we've had it for weeks." And I said, "Well, I haven't got nothing." So he, a couple of days later, he sent me a copy of the license. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, the building works. There's bad advice from the builders who was doing the contract, the work for us. The whole place has been rewired. Everything is totally safe. The only things to be finished is a fireproofing to the roof. It's all been put on hold until the building warrant has been granted. The reason there was no building warrant was we told because it was the only one we took down was non-retaining. It didn't need a warrant. Apparently, because it's a business premise, it did. So that was where the mistake came there. But before the place is open, it will be totally up to standard. The fire brigades come to have a look. The building warrant people will be coming to check. There'll be all the certificates in place for all the new plumbing and new electrical works. Everything is done properly. That's what's done. No.
Okay. Is anything else you want to add?
We would still like to go for extending it for the 4 months, etc., until all the work is in place. And obviously, we know what's going to prove to you that everything is safe, which will be done. That's what we're all considered.
Okay, thank you. Can I now go to Mr. MacDonald to see if you have anything you wish to add, having heard from the licence holder?
Thanks, Mr. Kinghorn, for providing that update. I'm still concerned that there's no mention of complying with the licensing requirements to change the layout plan. I appreciate that you may have got bad advice from builders or developers, but I've made it quite clear that a variation must be submitted. There's no change to the layout plans and no variation yet.
Okay, thank you. Now going to board members. Have you questions for either party? Mr. Menard, please.
Yeah, it's just I'm just querying why there was no response from the applicant regarding the LSO's emails. Did they go to the right email address, or is there some explanation why he didn't answer the email sent to him by Mr. MacDonald?
Yeah, sorry. As I said, it's an oversight by me. I did look at it through my phone, but I think possibly had skipped a few parts of it, and it was a while later before I printed everything out and realised that they needed to apply for an extension for the. That's why I phoned Mr. MacDonald but I think it was too late then, like so.
Okay, thank you. We've got a question there from Ms. Black, please.
Yeah, thank you, convener. Can I just ask, the licence that Mr. Kinghorn has stated that he didn't receive anything from the licensing teams with the transfer of the licence. So can I just check the procedure that happens when licences are transferred and where the responsibility lies, please?
It's Fiona Stewart, the Deputy Clerk, for Mr. Kinghorn's benefit. There are two types of transfer permitted under the Act. They're called Section 33 and Section 34 for obvious reasons. And in this case, Section 33 transfer was lodged by the outgoing licence holder as agent. And because it was the outgoing licence holder that lodged the transfer, we're obliged to send the transferred licence to them, and it is for the outgoing licence holder to make arrangements to transfer that licence over physically to the incoming licence holder. So it would have been granted in November, but the outgoing licence holder has not made arrangements to pass that on to Mr. Kinghorn. A Section 34 transfer is lodged by the incoming licence holder, and in those cases the licence would go direct to them on transfer. So it's because of the nature of the transfer that was applied for in this case that the licence was not issued to Mr. Kinghorn, as he had not submitted the application. It was the outgoing licence holder.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's very clear. Any more questions, members? Mr. Taylor?
Yes, thank you, Convener. Morning, Mr. Kinghorn.
Morning.
We've heard from Mr. MacDonald that there were two emails sent requesting this variation of plan layout. So I would appreciate any comment on the fact that there's been two. And I have a second question that if I can come back, Convener, please.
Okay.
Sorry, the second question is to Mr. MacDonald.
Okay, so the first question then is for you, Mr. Kinghorn.
The second email. The second,
The first question from Mr. Taylor, asking about the two emails.
Yeah, the second email came through by that point when we'd found out from the council about the warrant, but we got the architect involved to do drawings, etc. So we were trying to get everything together to have an answer for Mr. MacDonald. It just took a little bit longer than it is. That's why I gave my phone. Yeah. Phone, sorry.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
To a degree, yes, Convener, thank you. And to Mr. MacDonald, do you have a record of this phone call that Mr. Kinghorn had sent to you at a later date? Or can you remember?
Yes, I think the second email that went to Mr. Kinghorn was on the 6th of February. I think he called me on I think it was 11th or 12th of February. I can't be exactly sure. It was about the same time I submitted this report to the board.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Can I maybe ask you, Mr. Kinghorn, did you consider at any point seeking some legal advice and help with submitting your documents?
Not at that moment, but I have now. But as I said, there's to wait for a lawyer or some person to come and help. So that's why Ian here is helping me out just now.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Black, please.
Yeah, thank you, Convener, for letting me come back in. Mr. Kinghorn, can I ask you, did you know that because the premises had not been open and trading, that the licence needed to be there was this extension that was required. Did the old license holder actually tell you about that that needed to be done, because the license could in effect not be current if there was no trading going on, and that they had been through that process and you needed to continue to do that? Were you aware of that?
No, not at the moment, not at that moment in time. Just once I got these emails from Mr. McDonald that realised that we needed to submit. But then with me only receiving it on the 9th of January, I thought it had plenty of time, like, you know.
Yeah, okay, if I can come back that, because like you say, it was included in the emails that you got, but you didn't feel that it was pertinent to immediately address that?
Not at the moment, because I thought with me receiving the license on the 9th of January, that I would have carried on from there, so probably March, April would have been plenty time to submit an application for an extension.
Okay, does that answer your question, Ms. Black?
Yes, I think it does.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any further indications from members of a question. So in that case, we'll start the closing remarks, please. Mr. Kinghorn first, have you anything you want to say in closing? And please note you can't add any new evidence at this stage.
No, nothing really much else to add. Like, just hope that we can carry on and get things in perspective and get the place opened up.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McDonald, do you want to say anything in closing?
No, nothing further, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do board members require legal advice from the clerk? I would suggest maybe yes. Ms. Black?
Yeah, I was going to say yes. I mean, if you just clarify the legal position as opposed to policy position around the 4 months of non-trading for the licence.
Thank you, convener. In terms of the legal test, one of the subparagraphs of section 28, I'm just looking for the legal test at the moment, is section 28(5)(b), that licensed premises in respect of which the license was issued cease to be used for the sale of alcohol, then the license ceases to have effect. And because the section doesn't stipulate the period of time, that's where the board's policy came in, that the board's policy stipulated that if premises had been closed for a period of more than 4 months, then they would consider section 28(5)(b) to take effect unless there were circumstances which merited an extension to closure, which the licence holder would have to lodge with the licensing team, and the convener deals with those in the first place. But the actual act, the law, is section 28(5)(b), where the premises cease to be used for the sale of alcohol, the licence ceases to have effect.
Okay, you want to come back?
Yeah, so if I can clarify, in the letter of the law, in the Act, it ceases to have effect immediately, but we have chosen to have a grace period of 4 months within our policy. Is that a good interpretation of where we are?
That is an interpretation of where we are, yes.
Okay, if members want to see the legal test, again, it's page 151 of your papers. Any more advice required? Mr. Goodall, please.
Fiona, would it be possible for us, if we were minded, to extend that 4-month grace period, or is that not possible?
That's within the gift of the convener on a request of the licence holder, and that request should be made prior to the expiry of any existing extension to closure. And the last extension to closure expired, I would need to get Kevin to confirm, end of November last year or thereabouts. So there should have been a further request extension to closure put in prior to that date. But it's within your gift if you decide that you wish the licence to continue to allow Mr. Kinghorn to put in a fresh extension to closure request. But you've got to meet the terms of legal tests and justify that.
Okay. So there are obviously cases, Jeff, where we see several applications to extend beyond 4 months if, say, a premises is up for sale, for instance, but the applicant applies and it's granted if it's reasonable, and there's quite a few of those. But the issue here, I think, is that the extension expired the end of November and there hasn't been a further application. Any more questions? Jeff, do you want to come back in, Mr. Goodall?
If you don't mind, Marion, I'm just trying to get it settled in my own mind. Has the applicant actually informed yourself that he may seek another extension, or has he not done that, and can he do so in the future? Or if you follow my drift.
He hasn't put in a further request to extension. Whether he can do so in the future will be based on the decision you take today as to whether or not the licence has ceased to have effect.
Okay. Mr. Maynard, please.
Yeah, it's concerning the actual building work and the warrants, etc. Can we take that into consideration as part of this as well? Bearing in mind what Mr. MacDonald has said regarding his concerns as to the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? Your suitability, you know, and the change of variations not occurring.
The short answer to that, Mr. Maynard, is no. The sole reason this is before you today is to determine whether the licence still exists or has ceased to have effect. Anything to do with building warrants, fire safety, etc. is enforceable under other legislation and is not enforceable through the licence. But you wouldn't be able to take into account suitability unless there was a major variation application being considered. So the sole reason for this today is, does the licence continue or has it ceased to have effect? Everything else is irrelevant.
That's wonderful. Thank you for making that clear. Much appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Crowson, please.
I was just actually going to ask for clarification on the same point as Maynard just has, since I'd put my hand up anyway. But it's also just the fact that although it's in our powers to possibly grant any deviate from the policy, that there are rules in place that have to be adhered to, and that I think the board needs to be consistent with these rules at times. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions to the clerk for advice? No. So in that case, Fiona, can you outline the terms of the legal test, please?
Thank you, convener. It's as set out in Appendix 3, and the relevant section of Section 28 is Section 28(5)(b), that the licensed premises in respect of which the license was issued have ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol. So if you determine that that is the case, the license will be deemed to have ceased effect, and if you don't, the license will continue in force.
Okay, thank you. Do members wish to retire to deliberate?
No.
Not seeing any indication. Mr. Goodall?
I'm tempted to do so in order to discuss our options, just to fully explore everything for the benefit of our own board and also for the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Taylor?
Likewise.
Okay, so can we adjourn then? We'll need to stop the recording and the live stream. And we can adjourn to the meeting room.